Hey pianists, welcome to a left-hand lesson for the Allegretto with a backing track. Now what I'd like you to do today is work through it, but also I'm going to play the backing track at the end. It's also available on the extra content where all the backing tracks are going to be without me speaking. You just have to subscribe there. It's all very straightforward and you should be able to see it when you go to my podcast. But the hardest bit about this is actually at bar 28, when we're doing these three notes, the C, the E and the G, and then we're going to come down to another G, a B and an F. Okay? So what I recommend is that you just practice this little bit over and over again if you're struggling with it. Now, it's up to you how you play it. You can play it looking at the keys, or you can play it and by memory, or you can play it looking at the music. There's not really a right and wrong way. A lot of successful musicians will glance down at sections and glance up at other sections. You know, it all depends on how you learn. I'm a very, very pictorial learner, and I need to look at music to trigger me. So I prefer to do it blind. But if you do things blind, i.e. not looking at keys, you're more liable to make a mistake if you're not practiced at it. Do you see? So what I recommend actually is that you just really practice this manoeuvre over and over again. Okay? And getting up to the correct speed, the Allegretto speed. Remember, this track is on track 21 in the Suzuki CD. I'll be playing all these backing tracks at all different speeds in the coming weeks over on the extra content channel. So you'll have full access to, 10 minutes of the right speed, the right tempo, and you can pick and choose, okay? You can pick and choose your speed. But don't forget, you can speed these podcasts up or slow them down. So that's a really useful tool for playing along. If you speed me up, I'll be like that. But if you slow me down, I'll be like that. But you can ignore me and just go straight to the backing track section. And obviously, if you're one of my students and you've joined the membership school, you'll be able to access and play at however you feel comfortable. So what I recommend is always learn your piece really slowly. Really slowly. Get the devil in the detail correct. And then go up a notch, okay? And finally, you'll be at the right speed. The most mistakes are made due to rushing, due to haste. Now, I've done this at quite a slow speed, and I've got the metronome on. What else do we need to know? Remember the contrasts, and remember that if I play truly quiet, you won't hear what I'm playing. So my contrast tends to be, I've got one eye on the recording device to check you can hear me. So it's a little bit hard on a podcast. Don't forget, you can book lessons with me, and it's much easier then because I can talk through it. Okay, let's have a listen to the backing first of all. Turn that up. Okay, it's not too bad. Although, actually, guys, I'm just going to pause that. Okay, I'm going to mix things up a bit today. The wonderful thing about GarageBand is you kind of find things that you didn't know you had. So I've just come across a synthesizer that's synthesizing a bass. And some of these pieces can get a bit boring. So why don't we try now with a bass, synthesized bass and a metronome, just for the fun of it, and see how you get on. If you've got an electric piano, you might be able to get some of these backings. Well, very, very similar. So let me just lift the volume up. Now I'm hoping you guys can hear that. Let's do the metronome. Okay, it's quite funky, isn't it? I've been making ringtones. I do a whole catalogue of free ringtones, and we've got lots of really good stuff like this that you can download for free. So I've got my head in that zone at the moment. So let's try something a little bit out there today rather than sort of traditional classical. So dance in one bar. 1, 2, 3. Next page. Right, what do you think? I mean, I think that's a bit epic, actually. Okay, you can stop now. I think that's a bit fantastic. No, I mean, you know, if we normally play with the orchestra, the strings, and it can be a bit highfalutin and a bit snooty, you know, and people who are making millions out of composing music today, you know, quite often not classically trained at all. So, you know, bringing the idea of learning classical music into the current production sphere is a really exciting thing to do if you're thinking about a career, if you're thinking about teaching, because the kids want to be modern. You know, they want to use all the technology at their disposal. And that's really what I Sauerland is all about, and the Telltale Club. It's taking the lessons of the past and mixing them with the technology of the present and the future, and creating, you know, absolutely stretching the human imagination as far as it can possibly go, and creating something epic and not done before. And it's strange because you think, well, hang on a minute, looking to the past, how can we make something that's not been done before? It's been done already in the past. But the past offers us an education and a knowledge, and the future offers us a new presentation. So it's a bit like storytelling. Stories rely on about 7 factors to create a good story. I mean, I couldn't list them now, but element of surprise is the one I'm familiar with, the biggest one. And important characterizations, you know, creating your well-defined characters. They don't have to be liked, they don't have to be disliked, they have to be believable. And this idea that you suspend reality temporarily, but you believe it, you think it's happening, you're in the zone, you know. So these stories have never changed since Homer's Odyssey, and yet why do we still listen to new versions using these same characterizations, these similar techniques? Well, it's because we learn or we explore new adaptations of these older knowledge. It's like a waterfall of knowledge that we have access to. The internet is really, really good at giving us that knowledge. Well, the internet isn't very good at giving us new things. Humans are really, really good at giving us new things. And that's the same thing with music, you know. I'm a classically trained pianist and cellist, but I'm also trained, you know, my degree was in digital music, for example. So I've really looked for ways that I can spice things up a bit with newness and making it fun. Now, I don't know about you, but I found that really good fun. I mean, honestly, I thought that was more fun than playing with the orchestra. Let me know what you think. If you're after more traditional backing tracks, obviously we have those as well. I do those every day. I do at least one, and that's on the extra content. But you know, guys, the Telltale Club is really a modern phenomenon, and it's, for me, the driving force is technology, totally. And I Sauerland is obviously, you know, half AI, half human. That's myself. And I couldn't separate the two. And this is the other thing about music, production, art, design. How do you separate technology and the human successfully? You can't. We're all using technology now. And the very basic one is that most people listen to this podcast on their phone, on their smartphone. That's the most basic use of technology. But of course, it's not basic exactly. But every time I create a loop, for my free loops catalogue, there, I use my AI in some way, shape, or form. AI is, the learning machine is so entrenched in our daily lives, and to avoid it, you're risking holding yourself back. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I love to, play my classical cello with no technology involved at all, just my acoustic self and my human body and my human movements. I love that. But we're talking about, creating lifestyle careers, or even if you do that, but you need other people to see it, hear it, you're going to have to record it. And you're going to have to, at some point, employ technology and AI. So that's what the Telltale Club is much more about, and Dice Overlearn is about, how do we use AI to create human excellence and broaden human endeavour. So anyway, I didn't mean to tell you all that. But, so shall I just play this backing track now? I'll run it for about 4 or 5 minutes, I think. I think that's pretty good, isn't it? And I'll turn this up a little. Okay, guys, I don't know how many minutes I gave you there, but you can play it over and over again, so that's pretty good news, isn't it? So hope you enjoyed today's free class, and I'm going to put this up on the free ringtones catalogue as well, because I think it's just so useful, and I don't mind anybody sharing this backing track either. So yeah, have a great day, practice a bit if you can. If it's not fun, don't do it.